Hey GlamFam, welcome to today's video. We are doing a very 90s inspired look. I have my rock t-shirt on. We are doing an all matte eyeshadow look, plus we're only using powdered foundation. This was a much requested video from our lovely Amber. She wanted me to create a more powdered foundation look, not using any liquids. So we are mainly using matte powders today. So I'm going to show you that even if you have very dry skin and mature skin, you can still rock a powdered foundation look if you find the right powders and you prep your skin the right way. So I'm gonna give you all of my tricks and all of my favorite powders. We're gonna rank them, we're gonna swatch them, we're gonna create this beautiful look. So if you're new here, I am Kristi. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. We're here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we'd love for you to join our beautiful Glam Fam. Please give this video a huge thumbs up and click that like button. When you hit the like button and when you comment below, it really does help support my channel, as well as when you utilize my affiliate links. So thank you so much for doing that. When I'm not on YouTube, be sure to follow me at Kristi Allure on Instagram, on TikTok, Kristi Allure, and on my blog, KristiAllure.com. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, you guys, let's get started. So I'm just gonna jump right into applying some powder foundation, and then I will go over all of my top powders. So let's just start off with the fact that when you do powdered foundation and you're not doing any kind of liquid, especially during the winter time frame, and you have dry skin like myself, you wanna make sure you're moisturizing. Like, it's just so important to moisturize, you guys. I cannot stress that enough. So I like to go in with a really good moisturizer. I'll either use my Dermatology Peptide Night Cream, that one right there, or I will use, and I just started using this actually, I picked it up during the sale. This is the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. I've heard really good things from other professional makeup artists about this, so I wanted to pick it up and try it out. I really wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I love this stuff. This is so good, you guys. It is so extremely moisturizing. So I'm gonna start off with that and just make sure. I already did use my Dermatology 10 times hydration boost. I just went over all of that. You can check out my video from last week. And I talked about skincare, especially for ladies like me over 40. It's so important that we are moisturizing our skin and really prepping our skin. I have another primer on the way. I'm gonna be doing top 3 in each category, so I'm gonna be filming that soon too. All of my top picks from each category. But I am in love with this moisturizer, and I use quite a bit, you guys, because especially when we're powdering up our skin, we just want to make sure that it is so saturated. Otherwise, it's just going to cling to dry patches. I know Amber, hey Amber, one of our beautiful Glam Fam sisters, she always uses powdered foundation. And I know she's like me, we're in our 40s and we're just women of the 90s and 80s, and we grew up on powdered foundation. A lot of you can, put your hand up. Do a little emoji with the girl with their hand up, and let me know if you are from that generation, if you started off with powdered foundations before you went into liquids. I know I just started doing liquids when I started my YouTube channel like a few years back. So I really wasn't into liquid foundation until I started my YouTube channel, oddly enough. So I just have always liked powdered foundation. I had really good skin back then, so I never really needed a whole lot of coverage. Now is a whole nother story. Maybe that's my problem. I started using liquid and look what happened to my skin. So use that little hand raising emoji and comment below and let me know if you guys are still into powdered foundations. All right, and I told Amber I'd do this video because she had been wanting me to do this, and I want to do an all matte eyeshadow look today. I know Susan in Canada definitely commented when I said, do you guys want me to do that? She wanted me to do that. So I love hearing your feedback. I love hearing from you guys. Please comment below. So this is the serum stick. Now I did this in a video. I talked about it in a couple videos back, and I know this is, you know, meant to be more under your makeup, but you can use this as a touch-up. I do feel like the oil works a little bit better. So let's just kind of fill this in a little. Let's just see. We'll see. We'll see if this works out. And then I'm just gonna kind of dab that in. Again, it's just so important to use the right primers and the right things. I mean, as we get older, we have to spend a little bit more money. I mean, let's be honest. I know I was talking to my sissy, hey Shannon, about this, and you know, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Drugstore foundations and makeup is amazing. There's some amazing products out there. For me, a lot of drugstore products just don't work. I wish they could. I've tried them. I do them off camera sometimes just to kind of test things out, but I don't know. I just haven't really found anything I love. So I always feel like sometimes you just gotta spend a little bit more money because they put the right ingredients in there. Charlotte Tilbury is known for that. All right, so I'm gonna use a little bit. I haven't been getting very much sleep, so I have some dark circles underneath. You may not be able to tell on camera, but I love this Charlotte Tilbury. Speaking of Charlotte Tilbury, this is the color corrector in medium 2. I don't use this very often, you guys, because I don't typically, I'm a little shaky today. I don't typically get dark circles, but today we are working with them. And I know a lot of people love the Becca color corrector. I never tried it though, so I'll have to pick up the Smashbox one, but I really love the Charlotte Tilbury and I have a lot of it left. So I don't really typically do like the Hydro Grip when it comes to powdered foundation, just because I think it's better with liquid foundations. So I'm gonna go in with the Tatcha one. You guys know I just talked about this again in my winter essentials as one of my favorite products. So that's the consistency of it. And I don't know if I've applied this on camera before. I think maybe I did with that L'Oreal one, I did. So I'm just gonna kind of press that into the skin a little. What's going on here? That was interesting. And typically you'd want to do that before your color corrector, but because I forgot, that's where we are. And when you do powdered foundation looks, you want to do all your prepping and liquid products first. So if you use concealer, then you want to definitely go in with that before you go in with your powder. And if you don't even like using liquids, period, I do recommend this Bare Essentials Well Rested. This is one of my favorite ones for just like on the go. It's a nice little brightening powder like that. It gives you like a little bit of brightening there. It's pretty, you can't really tell on camera. I don't do it too often just because I like concealer, but this is a good option if you are like, yeah, I don't want to use any liquid. It blends in really well even though it looks light, and it's really, really pretty. So you can do that as well. All right, I think we're nice and primed. I am gonna put a little bit of smoothing primer on just so that the powder goes on really smooth. So I'm gonna use my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. You guys know I've been talking a lot about this. This is like a clear consistency. I also like the amplifier from Sephora. So if you're like, I'm on a budget, Kristi, I don't really wanna spend that much, I do think that the Smashbox one is better, but that's another good option. And remember, everybody's skin is different, so we all have different preferences, so just keep that in mind. But do you see how smoothing that is? My gosh, it looks incredible. Sometimes if your hands are feeling a little crusty, I hate that word, you can always put primer on your hands and it makes it nice and smooth. Just FYI, little tip there I like to do. So I do like this amplifier one. I think it's just like a little smidge underneath the Smashbox one, but it's half the price. So, and I think I'll be releasing this on Sunday, so this is the last day of the Sephora. Pretty much if you're a beauty insider, no matter what tier you are, whether you're VIB or Rouge, you get the 20% off, and all the Sephora collections 30% off. But I would purchase those separately because you can't combine them. So you have to do it separate orders. So I would do that. And you can do the store pickup. Another primer I would recommend using besides the Tatcha one, this is a little bit less, is the Smashbox Primerizer. You guys already know I love this one as well. I love that one and the Tatcha one equally. I think they're both amazing. I am gonna spray my face with the Tatcha Dewy Spray because it's a nice way to get that skin nice and hydrated too before we go in with that powder. Alrighty, so this is another brush I have fallen madly in love with. This is the Sephora Collection number 70 brush. This is the short version. There is a longer version. So this is 70.5 just because it's half of the size. But I did order the long version as well. I love this. If you are a girl like me where you want like full coverage in certain areas and you don't want that foundation to be lifted up or concealer, this is amazing. I love spot concealing with this. Like love, love, love. We're gonna do that right now. Another Sephora Collection item that I really like, this is always out of stock, but if you can get your hands on it, this is number 3, and I like this since I have a little breakout right there. I'm actually going to do that before we go in. So I don't do this all over the face. I wouldn't use this as an under eye concealer. I don't really have any other, oh, I have a couple little breakouts coming in here. Ugh, I tell you, it's like, oh, you're gonna film? Oh, great, I'm just gonna break you out before you film. My skin was doing amazing for like 2 weeks. I had no breakouts. It was just healing. And let me tell you guys, that Hydra Fader from Dermatology, as you can tell, like if you can go back to my old videos before I put on foundation, you would see so much discolorization and scarring, and it's gone down. It's insane. All right, let's go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I did get number 9. I have a video on this. You guys can check that out. I don't want to go over all the details, but I really love this. It's $29. I'll put the amount of shades right there on the bottom, but I love this stuff. I just really think this is one of the most beautiful concealers. And I haven't used shade 9. I picked it up during the sale, so let's just see if we like it. I had shade 8, which is a good all over one, but I wanted something more for underneath the eyes that we're gonna be brainy. The longer you let your concealer sit on your face, especially when they're more liquidy type concealers, if you're a girl like me that likes a lot of coverage, let it sit for a little bit. I'm gonna do the blender around the edges to blend it out. Do you see how beautiful that concealer is, you guys? Now, if you have gorgeous skin and you have no discolorization or, you know, acne spots or anything like that, then skip all of this and go straight into the powder from the color corrector or whatever you're using, primers. But it is important to prime. You want to make sure you prime. I don't care how good your skin is, especially over 40, we want to make sure we're priming before we do powders. Okay, because rule of thumb is they say if you're over 40, do not use powdered foundation. Again, you guys, there's no rules in makeup. You do what makes you feel beautiful and what works for you guys. That's what's important. So for under the eye, this has been the only powder I love, especially if I'm doing a powdered foundation look, because you're gonna get the pigment, but you also get that blurred effect. So this is, again, one size 2R. You guys know I talk about this. This is my holy grail under my eye now. This one, and I also love Pat McGrath's Sublime under eye powder. If you want more of like a you know, not so pigmented type powder, then go with the Pat McGrath one. But if you want more pigment and use less concealer, that's what I've been doing, using less concealer and using this. And I'm telling you guys, it's been a huge game changer of mine. So I'm gonna take it with my little Forever Puff, take the corner, and I'm just gonna go in there and set that concealer down. And I do this before I do the other one, just because I want to make sure I have the lighter one first. I like to do the center of the face with this guy. We want it to be brightened underneath our eyes and here. All right, I am gonna go with my ultimate #1 holy grail powder. Again, if you know, if it was a very special occasion I was going to, I would go with that. But another one I really like when I use like foundation, like liquid foundation, I just want a little bit of pigment. This is a really good one too, this Smashbox one. So I have this like Makeup Forever like little Z palette type thing, and I have a ton of Makeup Forever colors because you can buy these individually on their website, and I don't know, I have all different colors here, so I will put them down. This is Y215. This one is R210. That's a really good one for underneath the eyes. Before I was using the one size 2R, I was using the R. So R means like a rosy undertone, and typically we want more of that underneath our eyes. And then the Y is like a yellow undertone. So Y315 I have, Y305. Then Y245 is typically my shade. Sometimes I'll run through all of them. Remember, the brighter our under eye is, the more youthful we look. Okay, just a little tip there. Now, any way you want to apply this is up to you. I like it with brushes. It just depends. I also lately have liked my Stands Out Beauty Sponge. I think it really presses that pigment in there. I also love the Tati Blendiful, but unfortunately she can't, you know, it doesn't have her business anymore, or her Tati Beauty anymore. So I'm like, oh, I hope nothing ever happens to that. I think we might use, actually no, we'll do my favorite one, which is my Beauty Blender Velour Puff. You guys know I've talked about this. So before, when I did powder, I always did brushes, like, and if you want a lot of pigment, it has to be more of like a flat kabuki type brush. This is a good one, this Sigma one. You know, It Cosmetics has a really good one. You can use even like this BK Beauty 105 is a really good brush because it has a little bit of density, but it still is able to blend out and not do too much pigment. So that's a really good one. I mean, there's so many good brushes for this. I mean, you really just can't go wrong. It's all preference, but I really love it with my Velour Puff. So I'm going to take that onto there. That's what it looks like. And then we're just going to start pressing that in. I like to press it into the skin because I feel like it really puts it into, you know, it presses it into your skin, especially since we did the concealer and spot concealing. I don't want to rub anything around. I want to make sure I'm just pressing it in there. But do you guys see how flawless your skin can look with powder foundation if you prep it the right way? This, to me, lasts actually longer than my liquid foundation look. So just FYI, sometimes it is better. Like it just depends, again, what your skin type is, especially for my oily skin girls. I do feel like powdered foundations are sometimes the better way to go. But you know, it really just depends on your preference. But I never really did this on my channel, I don't think. I think I did it like in my 10-minute get ready with me. I need to do another challenge like that again. Comment below if you want to see that. I didn't quite make 10 minutes. So maybe I can beat my challenge this time. Literally, this is like a miracle powder. Seriously. Miracle powder. I wish this was around when I was an NBA dancer because I was using MAC Fix Plus, which back then was really good. But this is even better. And I used to use the Chanel one too. I loved that one. So pretty though, right? And you just don't really need that much when you've already spot concealed. And you just have less, in my opinion, less creasing as well. I'm just kind of going over that. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of this Kat Von D Lyric. I'm gonna take this KVD, I always call it Kat Von D, KVD. This KVD brush, and I'm just gonna pop that under here. And do you see how that's such a pretty way to brighten the area? Because I'm already put a ton of powders in, I don't even really have to go in with anything else, but this is just what I like to do, okay? This is, you can skip this step, but I love this stuff, you guys. So this is what I either would like to take, like a translucent powder, like my Chanel one I'll go over, or my Hourglass one, but lately I've just been doing this one when I do powdered foundation looks, and this is the Chantecaille, and this is in light medium. I just talked about this in my winter essentials. This powder is like probably the most blurring powder I've ever seen. So I'm gonna take that onto this Chantecaille powder, and I'm just going to make sure I'm just gonna stick to the areas where I want my, seriously, my pores disappear with this powder. It's insanely good, insanely good. It literally makes my pores, I am like at a huge magnifying mirror right here, and my pores have disappeared. It's incredible. I can literally sit here and take this whole thing on my face and it looks like I have zero powder on my face, but yet my pores just disappear. The most incredible powder I have ever put on my face. I didn't want to spend the money on it, which is why I didn't buy it before, but now I regret that because it's amazing. All right, we're just gonna do a little bit of sculpting with my Kristi Allure number 6. You guys know it's like my holy grail contour right now. I'm just gonna pump that in there just to do a little bit of sculpting. All right, now I'm gonna do a little bit more bronzing. And what we're gonna do is, because I want something a little bit more lightweight, I'm just gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury. This is medium in the Airbrush Flawless Bronzer, and I like to combine it with my Victoria Beckham for just a little bit more pigment. And I'm gonna take that on my Hakuhodo brush and just mix the two like this. I just go in there and just kind of dab both of them. I like to make sure I take any of that off because I don't want anything. All right, let's go in with my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take my Smashbox 24-hour primer. Still been really loving this stuff. It's just so like smoothing. It's absolutely become one of my favorite eyeshadow primers ever. And thanks to one of my subscribers because they recommended this. Just gonna smooth that out with that. Then I'm gonna take the concealer brush I was using and just kind of start blending that in. Sometimes the best tools are our fingers. And then what I do is I just take my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush powder and this Smashbox brush that is like, I just bought a new one because I'm like, this is one of my favorite brush. I think it's a highlighter brush, but I love it for the eyelids. And then all I do is just take that airbrush powder and smooth out that area. And it just kind of smooths everything out, just kind of smooth it out into my nose contour as well. All right, so we did that. Now we're just gonna go in with this eyeshadow look. So I'm actually gonna use this palette because I have talked to you guys about this in a couple of videos, but I haven't actually used it on camera. And I love the mattes in this. I mean, the shimmers are beautiful. They actually are. They're very subtle, but very pigmented and beautiful. But I just want to use the mattes today. I just want to do a full matte look. I don't think I've ever done that on my channel, so excited. So we're gonna start off with Silk, and this is like just a bone color. It's just so beautiful. We're gonna do this first, and then we'll do the transition. We're gonna kind of go in reverse order here. So, oh my gosh, yeah, see how pigmented that is? It's so beautiful. These mattes are incredible for the price point. Do you see how pigmented that is? And how smooth that is for the price point, you guys. Thank you guys so much for using my links. I really, really appreciate it, you guys. It really does help support my channel. You know, I don't get a whole lot in that kickback, but a little goes a long way. The reason why I like doing it this way when I do all matte, which is not very often, is because then I can take that crease and clean up the areas. And I did all powder on my eyebrows too. So all I did was my Anastasia Granite, and I love that color in the granite. Again, I use that more as liner, the black side, but I love that. It's like the perfect color for me. All right, let's take a crease brush. This is gonna be a really easy look. And we're just gonna take so there's no color in here. I like to use this color. This is one of my favorite colors in the palette, but I want something more that's gonna go into my nose contour. So I'm just gonna go with what I use for my nose contour, which you guys already know. This is my Natasha Denona medium 2 onto my Wayne Goss number 3. And just gonna take that and just start blending that into the nose contour. This is gonna be like the easiest eyeshadow look with all mattes. All right, now I'm gonna go into this color called Hazel. Oh, you guys, this is such a beautiful mustardy color. Oh my goodness, I love it so, 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 so much. All right, I am gonna take this on because I don't want it to go too high since we already did the Natasha Denona, you know, transition shade right there. So I'm gonna take this BK Beauty 205 brush. I love this one for just getting right into this area, which is all I want, is just taking that right here. Just like that. Isn't that the most gorgeous brown? Like seriously, like that brown is insanely beautiful. It reminds me of Pukey from the Jaclyn Hill original Morphe palette, which by the way, I still have the Morphe Neutrals with Jaclyn Hill palette that I haven't even done on my channel. It's just been so busy with other stuff. So eventually we'll get to that one. So I'm gonna take this Sonia G mini booster, make sure it's clean. Actually, I've been using it with this color anyway. And this is called Enrich, this nice chocolatey brown. So pretty. It is a beautiful brown. I'll just pop that into the crease. So that one could be a little patchy. It's not my favorite dark brown, but it's still pretty. Again, for the price point, it's still beautiful. I am gonna dip into my Viseart palette. Now, it's hard for me to tell you guys what color I'm using in this Viseart palette, but it's from the Warm and the Neutrals palette because I have created my own palette. Oh my goodness. You guys, it's unreal. These mattes are unreal. They're so easy to use. Now that is a brown. It's hard to love any other matte, even Pat McGrath. It's really, really difficult. But I gotta tell you guys, this is a pretty good one. This silk one, this is a hard color to get in. It's a very beautiful color. I mean, you see how much pigment that is. All right, we're gonna use a little bit smaller brush because we're gonna carve out that area. This is just a crown brush, just any kind of flat concealer brush. I like the thinner it is, the more pigment you're gonna pull. So that's why I wanted to go in with this thinner one, just because we're really gonna start carving that out. Oh my gosh, do you see that pigment? That color is insanely good. Isn't that pretty, you guys? I don't typically do this too often. I mean, I used to. Going back in with that Viseart brown. Kind of neat not doing a shimmer, although you guys know I love my glitters. It's kind of fun doing it this way sometimes. Let me know if you guys like this, if you like a no shimmer look. All right, going back into that first BK Beauty 206. Just going back over that area. Going into my Victoria Beckham eyeliner. Still can't stop using this guy. Again, with my liner, I like to start in the middle and then take that BK Beauty eyeliner brush, which is one of my favorite brushes, you guys. And I just take it onto the edge of the pencil. And it just allows me to get in there without making too big of a mess. Let's go back into that dark brown from the Viseart. Just going over it to like secure it down. Now I want more pigment right there, so I'm gonna take my brush and really saturate it into that dark brown. And then I'm gonna go back in with an even smaller brush. This is a Sigma E42. Just making sure that we cover up any little areas right there. We're gonna go back into Hazel first. Now I'll go in with the Wayne Goss, go back into that first transition contour. Just start buffing out those edges. I love this brush. It's so soft too, especially for mature eyes. We don't want anything that's gonna tug too much. All right, you guys, so this is how it all came together and I am really excited. I am loving this look and I cannot tell you guys how good my skin looks. I'm sorry, pat my back because I can't believe my skin has never looked better and I didn't use any liquid foundation. And that's unbelievable, especially since all the rules, like I said, say don't use powder after 40, don't use powder if you have dry skin. This goes to show you, if you prep your skin the right way, your makeup can actually even hold up better with a powdered foundation look than it can with liquids. Because liquids start to, you know, get creasy and I don't know, they don't always hold up, they separate. Whereas powdered foundation, I don't feel like you have to worry too much about that if you use the right products and you use the right powders, you prep your skin, like I said, the right way. I mean, primer is everything, right? Moisturizers are everything when you create a powdered foundation look. So I'm excited. Everyone's different. Keep that in mind. This may not work for everyone, but I just want to show you guys that I have, you know, mature, very dry skin, and yet my makeup held up the best. So let's go over all of my favorite powders, but quickly I just want to point out, just because I get questions sometimes, I did put my Cover FX Pink Dahlia blush. I think it's right here. Yeah, this one, because it just makes your cheeks look more youthful. That's why I like the pink. And you guys already know what bronzer I used. I just finished up the lashes with my Anastasia lengthy lashes. I've been using those quite a bit lately. I did my lips and I did the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. It's one of my favorites, you guys. I keep going back to this one recently and I love it in combination with the Makeup by Mario. You guys know this is like my ultimate favorite lipstick right now, and this is in Sam. I did pick up his lip liner, so that's on my way. It's on the way to me. I did want to mention really fast, so I'm going to try this out in a video. This is the Makeup Forever full cover. When I picked up my foundation powder, I decided to try out this concealer because it was one of the concealers I hadn't tried out, and this is an oldie but goodie to a lot of makeup artists. So this is a really good color. I'll show you the swatch up close. This is number 6. So we'll be trying that out. Another product I wanted to recommend, and I forgot to use it while doing the video. I was gonna do that. I saved this so that I can do it. I picked this up in this sale. So this is too dark for me. They only had number 4, SC4. I usually use SC3, that's typical. I have been using this Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, and I have the stick. I just don't think the stick is as good, to be quite honest. This is the newer. This is like literally, I've been using this for over 2 decades. It is just a very good waxy just way to cover up your blemishes when you use powdered foundation. And the reason why I say that is because I only used that and my MAC back in the days. That's all I used. I still recommend doing a liquid concealer when you do matte powders, unless you just don't need to cover up, and then you're fine. You don't need to use anything. But I do recommend still doing concealer. And remember, concealer first, powder last. Now, as far as my favorite foundation powders, I swatched that off camera. So you have the Makeup Forever, and that's the 245, that first one. That's what I have on right now, and that is my perfect match. Like, it could not be more perfect. And then the next one is the Makeup Forever 305 and then 315. They're all in the Y family. The next one is the Fenty Beauty 145, and that has more yellow undertones. Like, it just has a very, I love the undertone. I just wish it was a little bit darker, but honestly, that one, when I put it on, it does oxidize. I do have a video. You guys can check out that video as well. I'll attach it to this video, the card right there. And then it's Fenty 190 is the other color. So both of them work really well. They're just very beautiful, soft powders. I like those powders more in combination with like my Fenty Ease Drops. But when I do an all powdered foundation look, I still like the Makeup Forever one the best. And then the next one is the One Size 2N. And then the next one is the Smashbox number 3. And that is also a very, very good color for me. So I really, those are my ultimate favorite powdered foundations. I know a lot of people like Bare Minerals. I know they have very good powdered foundations. I didn't particularly like their powdered foundations very much. I never did, even back in the days. I do like the pressed one, but still not my favorite. So I'm gonna rank those for you right there. Makeup Forever by far still remains number 1 for me. It's just phenomenal. Like, it just, you can't get any better than the Makeup Forever one. And a close second would be the One Size, because I think that wears very well. I do think the One Size tends to oxidize a little, whereas the Makeup Forever one does not oxidize. So just a little, not a lot, but it does oxidize a little. And I did notice that when I did the video. And then Fenty Beauty, oh my gosh, that's another beautiful one. Not as much coverage though, I don't think personally, as the first 2 I mentioned. And then the next one would be the Smashbox. I think it is a very beautiful powdered foundation that is definitely more of a natural look, but it does have that photo filter effect to it. I think it is really beautiful, and I'm gonna put all the price points right there for you guys to see, you know, individually where each one lies as far as cost. The next one would be the MAC Fix Plus is an oldie but goodie. It still never lets you down when you really need good coverage, but it doesn't even compare to the Makeup Forever one at all. And that's probably, I would say, coverage wise and how it lasts throughout the day, those are equal, but the Makeup Forever one just caters to dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, mature skin. It, like I said over and over and over again, that would be the powder I would use on the most special day of my life or a special occasion I'm going to. That would be the only powder I would even set my liquid foundation with. And when I film and stuff like that, I always set my liquid foundation with that. It never looks cakey to me. Like I can layer that sucker on and it never looks cakey to me. I always have it in my purse at all times. Like I have to have that one. It's just amazing. So although these didn't make my top powders, these are still oldie but goodies. The Armani one right there, oh my gosh, that really does. Actually, I think I even like that one even more than my MAC one, to be quite honest. That Armani one is amazing. It's just super hard to find these days. I don't know why they don't always have it in stock. So the Armani Luminous Silk powder is ultimately one of the most beautiful powders with pigment. And then the next one is my Chanel one. Chanel, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is one of my tried and trues. Before, you know, all these other powders came out, I was using the Chanel one and the MAC one interchangeably. And then the next would be Charlotte Tilbury, because Charlotte Tilbury still gives you some pigment. Now it's not going to give you, I wouldn't use it as like a full coverage foundation powder. That's why it's on the next page and not the first page, but it still does give you a lot of pigment. And if you're not a big powder person and you still like to stick to liquid foundations, I still believe in that one. And I still think it is one of the best setting powders. Now this next one is the Chantecaille. Now this is more of a setting powder. This is not, like I said earlier, not necessarily one that's going to, deposit pigment. So it's not going to cover up anything, but by far that one blurs the best. Like there's nothing that blurs your skin like the Chantecaille one. Nothing. There's no other powder. And this one will show you my Chanel loose powder. I guess it's like a universal powder libre. I don't know how to pronounce those French words, but it is beautiful. That one is so, so gorgeous. That's number 20 is the shade I like. And that's a beautiful way to set your makeup as well. And then the next one is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Veil Powder. You guys know this is just a holy grail of mine when it comes to really dry skin. That is such a beautiful, luxurious powder that you can never go wrong. That's the only powder I'll use to bake. And then the other one is my Hourglass. I've been talking a lot about my ambient powders. Now I have two of these that I really like. So I have Diffused Light, which you can tell is more of like yellow undertones, and then I have Dim Light, which is more beige. So I like Dim Light, and I'll show you guys, for more like, this is just my Sonia G buffer brush, for just more buffing around the outer perimeters of my face, okay? But I like Diffuse Light, like I mentioned in another video, for underneath my eyes. And like if I didn't want to do, I'm trying out the, I put the Becca Champagne Light, Champagne Pop as my highlighter today. But you could just use this as a highlighter. Let's just say you didn't want to use any sparklies or glittery type highlighters. This is a very beautiful way to do your highlighter as well. And sometimes to give it light on that, up like the upper eyebrow bone, like that's a beautiful way of doing it. So those are all of my powdered foundation favorites ranked. I hope that helps you guys out. I don't know if again, raise your hand in the comments and let me do that little emoji and let me know if you guys like a powdered foundation look, if you ever do it, in your daily life. I know Amber does. Let me know if anyone else. I mean, a lot of us, especially for like Zoom calls or just going out to the grocery store, running errands, picking up your kids, sometimes we don't want to feel like, I don't feel like I have anything on my skin, and I love that feeling. I love it. I love that I can create this look of full glam with just powder and it not, seep into any, I don't really think, nothing. I mean, seriously, my makeup would have been already splitting, and I would have had to powder up by now after all this time went by. So I love that I can do that. And I'm kind of digging this matte eyeshadow look. I don't know, you guys. I might be working this a little bit more, but we're gonna have fun in future videos. I'm gonna pull out some more Mothership palettes. Again, I did get a couple in the Pat McGrath sale. I think that's still going on, so I have the link below, you guys. Nobody does it better with her in metallics, and I cannot wait. I got the all metallic Mothership palette. I can't remember, I'll show you guys right there. It's breathtaking. I haven't even tried them on my eyes yet. I've just swatched them, and I was like, literally, I almost had a heart attack. It was so, so beautiful. So can't wait to do that. So much fun stuff coming up, you guys. We're gonna do another holiday gift idea video. So much. Please comment below and let me know if there's anything you want me to see. If I don't get to it by the end of the year, I will put it into my January or February videos. But things are adding up already. Oh my goodness, there's just so much. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. If you are new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button, you guys. I want to get to 11K before 2022. Is it 2022? Oh my goodness, I can't even keep track what's going on. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, join our beautiful Glam Fam. We're here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and you want to make sure you have that notification bell on because you don't want to miss my community posts and me alerting you of all the good sale deals, especially at this time of the year. I mean, Sephora gave us that surprise one, so make sure you have that bell on. Please give this video a huge thumbs up and click that like button, you guys. When you hit that like button and when you comment below, it helps push my videos up through the algorithm, so I greatly appreciate that. If you decide to purchase any of these products, please utilize my affiliate links. I do appreciate that so much. It really helps support my channel. And follow me at Kristi Allure on Instagram, on TikTok Kristi Allure, and on my blog KristiAllure.com, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye guys.